Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with fabulous concert programs. And we're continuing our series of the American Neo-Classical School, a splendid group of composers who wrote amazing music that never gets played, but which you can play in the privacy of your own home, because you ain't going to see it in a concert hall to the same extent anyway. Actually, some of this you may. But let's do our next program, which is number 98 in this series of fabulous concert programs. We begin with one of the classic American symphonies, which actually hasn't been getting any attention over the past couple of decades, Roy Harris's Third Symphony. Now, when this symphony came out, everyone hailed it as the great American symphony and whatnot and all that. Well, where did it go? There you go. The way of all the great American this or that. Down the toilet from the point of view of live performances. It's a wonderful work in a single movement. Interestingly, most performances take a couple of small cuts, actually. I think Ormandy was the first recording, his RCA recording, to do it absolutely without any cuts. Maybe I have the score. I have to go back and look. But the bottom line is that it's an incredibly well-wrought piece with a surprisingly tragic ending, and it gets no love anymore. It's based on the idea, the concept of Sibelius' Seventh, the idea of a one-movement symphony, and Sibelius was all the rage at the time that this thing was written. And really, it's just marvelous. It has a fugue. It has a wonderful pastoral interlude. It's got these gorgeous string threnody lyrical things going on. First class. And it makes a wonderful concert opener because it's like, less than 20 minutes long, 20 minutes or so. Just beautiful. Next, we got to have a concerto, right? And I want to do Barber's Piano Concerto because Barber's three concerti for violin, piano, and cello are all three masterpieces in their way. They're absolutely marvelous, and they also don't get a lot of play. I don't understand why the Barber doesn't. I mean, it's as spiky and exciting and thrilling as anything by Prokofiev. I mean, if you could do Prokofiev's Second, for example, then you could certainly do the Barber Piano Concerto. I mean, it's got wonderful melodies, big, bold, gutsy orchestration. George Sell and John Browning did the, big, most noteworthy recording for Sony. And afterwards, Zell wrote his producer and said, well, we just did the Barber Concerto. It was fabulous. I mean, he thought the recording was stunning. I think he also liked the work, actually, which is saying a lot for Zell in contemporary music. But it's a magnificent work, and it would grace any concert program and bring the crowd to its feet. And after intermission, I have two more works. These are my 4-work programs, most of them anyway, because I think, first of all, we should fill up the concert, fill up the time, and there's so much music to present. And it can be done so nicely in matched pairs, that sort of thing. So we had one short symphony, sort of as a quasi-overture, and a concerto, and then we go intermiss. And after we come back, we get Florence Price's Mississippi River Suite. Now, Florence Price is getting a lot of play these days. You could probably actually hear the Mississippi River Suite. Don't worry, it will disappear into oblivion in a few years, not because she's a black woman who's having her moment, because she's American. And no one cares about American music. It all disappears eventually. But the Mississippi River Suite is about a 20-some-odd minute long tone poem, and it's really fun. I mean, it's wonderfully written. It uses some folk tunes and things, and it's just delicious. It's like the Grand Canyon Suite, only with more taste. I mean, it's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. First-class piece of music, and it deserves to be played, and the audience is going to love it. And we're going to wrap up with something a little bit more acerbic, but not by any means difficult. I mean, off-puttingly so. Robert Kirka's Second Symphony. This is one of the great American neoclassical statements by a composer who died quite young. He had leukemia, I believe, and so he didn't leave a lot of music. But what he did is very, very finely crafted, and this symphony is splendid. It has a completely original and unique sound world, all its own, with virtuosic use of the timpani throughout the piece, and extraordinary lean sonorities, and a quasi sort of modern but modal harmonic palette. It's just splendid. If you have any questions about his mastery, start with the finale, which has a tune it's catchy beyond belief. 2 tunes. You get 2 for the price of 1. It's really first class, and it's been recorded a few times, or at least twice. There's very good recordings on Albany with the Albany Symphony, and on CD, on a full disc of Kurka orchestral works. And there was also an earlier version, I believe, with Robert Whitney and the Louisville Orchestra in mono. But that's sort of, you can't find it anyway. It's on YouTube, I think. But the whole work is a masterpiece, really a masterpiece, and it sort of summarizes everything that American Neoclassicism was aiming at, which was compact use of traditional forms with a modern harmonic and melodic sensibility, and lots of personality. You could tell listening to that piece it's American. What makes it American? I have no idea. But the sonority is there, and the work is beautiful, and this program will really, really give you a nice weekend. And as we're actually I'm making this video, we're coming upon the 4th of July weekend, so maybe these American programs are appropriate. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.